All right, so we've got the Pennsylvania Reading Seashore Lines, 1951, summer of '51 is what we're going to be modeling. And the PRSL, everybody, the oft-quoted facts is it was basically a shotgun wedding of the Reading Railroad and the Pennsylvania lines. Basically, they were competing in South Jersey for all the action, and it finally got so bad that a judge basically ordered that the two railroads were going to have to merge into one in the South Jersey area to service it. There was a lot of farmland, of course. There was the Atlantic Ocean, so there's all the beaches, so the resort traffic was very popular. But ironically, the most profitable part of the line is what I'm modeling, and that was the Millville and Pennsgrove lines, and that wasn't as classy. There wasn't all the seashore traffic, so to speak, but there was lots of industry, lots of farms, lots of agriculture, and the nerve center of that is the same as it is today, and that's Pavonia Yard, which is right here. I'm only modeling a fraction of it. Even today, it's a big 26-yard, 26-30 yard track yard. But basically, everything starts in Pavonia. Pavonia heads northeast that way, and then it curves around and then would eventually go into Pennsylvania over the Delaware Bridge. So everything outside of New Jersey comes in from that end of the yard, drops it off, and then leaves. And then everything south leaves that way. And then the railroad terminates in, now it basically terminates in three different places: Millville, Pennsgrove, and Salem. But what I'm concentrating on is the Millville line. So you have Pavonia here, and I have to show these off. This is the, I don't know if you can see it behind all the necessaries. This is the James Lincoln interlocking. Jim Lincoln built this for me. This is a ladder that I built, and this is a ladder that Craig Biscayr built. And so this is what makes Pavonia possible. And then on the other end, there'll be one more ladder that Craig built, and then another that I built. And so basically the trains will head out through here, across the Van Hook Street cutoff, and then where you can see right there, those passenger cars, that's Broad Street Station in Camden. And then the Pavonia Yard lead comes right alongside of those tracks, and then continues heading south. As you're facing the track, left is always south, right is always north. And so it comes around here, and of course the real railroad doesn't really curve here, it goes straight, but this is what space dictates. And then comes right alongside, and here we have Bolson Street Yard. Part of that's still here. Right here is car float leads. There was a car float operation at Bolson Street. This was originally where the Reading Railroad still maintained a presence separate from the Pennsylvania Reading Seashore lines. The Reading ran the car float. They had contracts for several power plants in the area, including the one at Pennsgrove. And even today, the Pennsgrove line is big money for Conrail shared assets. So Bolson Street joins back up into the main line about here, and then right here we have the New York Shipbuilding, which today is South Jersey Ports. It's not as busy, but there's still railroad presence there. During 1951, they would have been building ships for the Korean War, landing craft and stuff like that. They were also building the aircraft carrier USS Kitty Hawk. All of that would have been that-a-ways. New York Shipbuilding was famous for not only the amount of ships that it built, but also that it had covered ways so that they could build ships in all kinds of weather. And of course, during World War II is probably really the heyday of the yard. They built thousands and thousands of ships. And basically what the railroad did, the rails in New York Shipbuilding functioned as basically a giant conveyor belt. That was what they used to move stuff in-house. Right here you actually can see a map of the whole railroad system. I'm only modeling about 10 to 20% of what's there. They estimate that there was about 4.5 miles of track inside New York Shipbuilding itself. So this comes back here. This would have been New York Shipbuilding storage area, and actually at one point it was just known as the east part of the yard for New York. And then we come into Gloucester City right here, and this is the urban part, where people are living in their houses, row homes and stuff like that. And then we come over into Gloucester City Station right here. in 1951 there would have been a lot of commuter traffic, and in 2019 there will be a return of commuter traffic as they're bringing passenger service back to the line. And then we have a very compressed layout of the Gloucester City Industrial Park area, which will feature a curved warehouse that I have to build right here, and a few other buildings, including a big power plant. And then it ends right about there for now. Eventually that'll be where the fiddle yard that you talked about will be for the temporary staging. But eventually what'll be right there where Roz is standing will be helix, a big helix, and my wife has requested that I leave the helix open because she wants to see the trains go roundy round and come up top. And then eventually they'll come around and they'll go into level 2, which will start right here, and will be the town of Westville right here. And then however else I have the second deck laid out. But before I can do that, I want to make sure that the first deck actually works. So that is the PRSL Millville Branch 1951 in a nutshell. There you go.
When you're ready.
All right, here we go. It's a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit. I'm sure I'm going faster than that in scale miles now. And then this is where my testing